limits.
Oh, nasan na yung file?
They're all in the cloud, sir.
Good job!
And by staying connected and protected with Eastern cybersecurity, our Eastern Communications.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pinoyliga Cup, Collegiate Division, and we have FEU leading by 34-29. So now let's send it over to CJ Ang to interview the coach of Mapua, Mr. J.R. Carlos.
Thank you, Justin. Ang mga kaliga kasama ko ngayon, ang assistant coach ng Mapua Cardinals, Coach J.R. Carlos. Coach J.R., your team is undermanned for today's game. No Clint Escamis and JC Recto. How do you plan to win this game against a complete FEU squad?
Actually, yung goal namin yun is yung win, pangalawa lang eh. So our priority is para ma-expose sila yung mga addition namin. Siyempre, sila Clint, sila JC, and sila Cyrus Cuenco, nandyan na yan eh. So ang gusto namin is yung kung paano sila magja-jive yung mga bago namin dun sa mga veterans namin. So yun yung main objective namin for not only for this game, for the whole Pinoy Liga Cup.
Coach JR, meron po ba kayong gustong batiyan at pasalamatan?
Siyempre, binabati namin yung buong alumni community, and of course yung mga bosses namin, sila Boss AA, sila yung mga coaches, and yun nga, yung alumni community, binabati namin.
Thank you so much, Coach. Back to you, Justin.
Okay, and there you have it, straight from Coach JR. So it seems that Mapua is trying to develop chemistry for their young guys here in Pinoy Liga Cup. That's a good strategy for them. So when they get to the NCAA season, at least all the things or the questions that they have in their minds, they get to work it out, and they become sharp for the next season that they have ahead.
Well, you know, a lot of coaches have different goals and objectives for, you know, a preseason tournament. Take, for example, FEU, a new head coach, but an existing coaching staff. What is his vision for this tournament? Probably sort of what we talked about before, establishing a style of play, establishing how he's going to treat the players, establishing what his emphasis will be in terms of how he wants them to play. Mapua, just like Coach Carlos was saying, you know, developing chemistry, exposure. Sometimes wins and losses don't tell the entire story of a team's development.
Yes.
Sometimes you can play your best game and still lose. Sometimes you can play your worst game and still win. So it's great that both coaching staff, both teams have a clear example or vision for how they want this to unfold. And establishing great habits is always great for this time of year.
Yes, and I'm not sure if you're aware, Coach, Mapua actually went to the finals in the last NCAA season, and they almost won the championship because they won Game 1 against San Beda, but they fell short in Game 2 and 3 as San Beda took the NCAA championship last conference.
So, with that being said, it's a team that has experience already, but obviously there's players that are in their development core that probably need some more fine tuning. And obviously, playing against a UAP team is a great way to gain experience, gain confidence. Look at this perfect example in a situation where they're attacking the basket. They're able to get offensive rebounds for shots against a team that's bigger. So, that can only embolden what you do and give you confidence.
Yes, and don't look right now. Mapua taking a 3-point lead, going on a 9-0 run to start the third quarter. And FEU calling a timeout. And we'll be right back. This is PINOYLIGA Cup number 1.
By the Blazers. Don Lim. Getting blocked by Don Lim. Solid defense by Don Lim.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mapua leading by 3 points this time with a great start in the third quarter, going on a 9-0 run and forcing FEU to take an early timeout. So, Coach, let's talk about the stats for the first half.
Well, for the most part, both teams are evenly matched across field goals made, three-pointers made, free throws made. It looks like the clear advantage for FEU during that first half was turnovers. So they were able to create more turnovers versus Mapua than they gave up. So those possessions ended up in that 5-point lead. But for me, as we move forward in this game, I'm a firm believer that the last 2 minutes of the first half and the first 3 minutes of the third quarter, those are the most important times of the game outside of the last 2 minutes of the game. Those are where you can get your real momentum swings.
Yes. It's where you actually set the tone for the ball game. And as you can see with the stats, FEU was leading in turnovers and assists, and I feel like these came from the turnovers led to transition points.
Yes.
And that's why FEU had a slim lead at the end of the first half.
Well, when you look at the game, live ball turnovers are so tough, and I think FEU was able to generate enough live ball turnovers that converted into either good shots or actual points.
And going back to the ball game, both teams exchanging three-pointers as Mapua is only up by 1. Oh, and a great drive by Cyrus Cuenco, but the ball tapped by number 3, Bautista.
I found it interesting that Konate was actually guarding on the ball in space. Mapua might be able to take advantage of that if Konate's not able to move his feet well enough and stay on the ball.
Yes, and there it is again, Konate guarding the guard from the outside. But this time, Cyrus Cuenco settling for the outside shot. And the FEU coaches realizing that they were exploiting the mismatch on Konate
Right.
and putting in a smaller a more agile big man.
Yes.
Great shot by Pasol, but no good. Abonete grabs another rebound. Oh, strong drive. Freeing up Cyrus Cuenco and nails it from the corner.
The ability for number 70 to drive and get a paint touch drew all the defenders to the middle of the floor, which allowed for a wide open three-pointer.
Yeah, his hard drive actually attracted 3 players and left Cuenco wide open.
Yes. They have advantage here.
Pasol loses the ball. It's recovered by Bautista and giving it to Pre. Passes it to Bautista with a jumper in the paint, but misses, and Habonete gets the ball again. Drives, and this time goes to the hoop. Gets an easy 2.
I think he's making an early case for player of the game. He is just all over the floor.
And he was our top performer at the half.
Yes.
Yes, Habonete with 13 points and 4 rebounds during the half.
He just seems to be in the right place at the right time.
And finally calling for a sub.
Like the rebound just dropped in front of his feet. You can tell he's gassed.
But great effort by Habonete as he gives Mapua a 6-point lead. And now Coach Carlos taking a timeout and giving his players a quick breather. And we'll be right back. This is Pinoy Liga Cup number 1. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Mapua is up 45-39, care of their team's hot shooting. And John Habonete sparking the run and being involved in every play as he gets open layups and attracting the defense as well and getting his teammates open for open shots.
This has been a fun basketball game. I like the swings in the game, lead-wise, and even if it's a preseason tournament, there's high-quality basketball being played.
And I'm sure these players are playing for spots, like spots in their respective teams, and everyone taking it seriously.
Sometimes it's sneaky when you step on the sideline.
Was it a stepping violation?
I believe so, or maybe a travel. His mind was moving faster than his feet.
Abonete misses the 3 from the top of the key and gets an offensive rebound. Egot with the offensive board and an end one basket.
Multiple efforts, Justin, multiple efforts. It's going to take, having a nose for the ball, never quitting on a play. That's going to be the difference between, winning and losing. So, gotta admire that.
Mapua getting second chance points this time. Maybe missing the presence of Konate on the floor.
The nice thing about that action right there is that FEU played with pace. They were able to get the ball to a big that can put the ball on the floor, and the downhill drive and his aggressiveness really forced the defense to react. That's why they had that wide open dump down to number 77.
Yes, the VJ Pre drive getting Beato an open layup and forced the defender to foul him just to avoid the easy two.
I don't know if you watched the UConn game yesterday, but that was the great thing about what UConn does offensively is they play with pace. So they turn that corner and they force the defense to have to react, and then that's where all the counters come in. Just like in any game, teams make runs. So Mapua started the quarter off with a great run. Now this might be FEU's turn.
FEU with a mini run so far, and see if they can get a couple more stops. And they get one there. As Godinez brings down the ball. Oh, finding an open man in the corner. No good.
The action's a little bit more furious now. They're really like, in transition quite a bit. Gotta like the savvy here of TJ. Try to get everybody organized and create a great shot.
And the pace has definitely picked up now. Oh, and a nice double by Mapua.
A good buddy of mine, Joshua Bristondo, the fireball. We coach together in the States, and when we would teach defense, Josh would always say, pressure bust pipes, right? So in that situation where there's constant ball pressure and another defender coming, it really does force offense to have to make a decision, and can they stay composed enough to make a good choice? Obviously, there was a turnover.
And it was a hard situation for Godinez as the defenders who doubled him were actually way bigger than him.
Yes. So he got buried. He got buried in the trap.
And even if you stay composed, it's hard to make a pass like that with defenders that big.
Yes. Unforced error, looks like.
FEU making some minor adjustments. Checking in the game is number 55, Masaglang. Oh, good pressure by FEU, getting a turnover.
Back-to-back turnovers there. Court awareness. Where is the ball being inbounded? Always got to be aware.
Traveling call to number 7.
It's the stride stop. If he would have just hopped and landed on both feet, probably they would have maintained possession of the ball.
Yeah, maybe picked up his dribble a bit too early.
Yeah, I think his eyes got really big seeing that lane, and then it just all of a sudden closed up.
Maybe he's still a bit cold, coach. He just checked in, and it's a late third quarter already.
Very true. Gotta love the fact they're still battling. Not going to make anything easy for the opponent.
It's still been an unpredictable ball game so far.
Oh yeah, definitely up for the grabs, for sure.
But I think Mapua's biggest lead was around 9 points.
Yes. I think TJ is being a little bit over-aggressive. but you gotta admire the effort.
And Pasol goes to the line for 2 with a chance to cut the lead down to 3.
What a pass.
Habonete hands the ball to Cuenco, gives it to Abdullah using the screen. Oh, and a nice find by TJ. Nice find by TJ, getting the defense to react and dropping it down to number 2.
You gotta love the management of the shot clock. Waited till under 10 to take the drive, and then read what the defense gave. Help defense came. There wasn't any help to helper, and his teammate was wide open for the dump down.
Yeah, good read by TJ. Number 2 makes both free throws, extending the lead up to 5 for Mapua.
The game within the game. Justin, the game within the game. You gotta love it.
Oh, Pasol kicks it out. Number 15, a tough shot and makes it. We have 5 seconds left here in the third. Mapua going for the last shot, but TJ gets double teamed and turns it over. Oh! And Pasol almost tying the ball game. And this is indeed a close match. And we only have Mapua leading by 3.
Tough place to get stuck if you pick up the ball. So, luckily for Mapua and for TJ, FEU didn't convert.
I know if they had like 2 or 3 seconds left, it could have been an easy layup.
Yeah,
for
could have been.
So we'll be right back for the start of the 4th quarter. This is PINOYLIGA Cup number 1. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 4th quarter of the PINOYLIGA Collegiate Cup Season 3. And we have Mapua leading by only 3 points, but making a great run in the 3rd quarter as they were down 6 by halftime. And Coach, what do you think gave Mapua the lead at the end of the 3rd?
I think it was about momentum and pace. They were able to get really good shots. They were able to get shots that were in transition, that were in rhythm, and once you get a couple of those, it just builds momentum, and it stunts the momentum of the opposing team. So I think Mapua just was able to stay focused, and in a blink of an eye, in less than 2 minutes, they had been able to create a lead. So sometimes a lot of what happens here, especially in games like this, is about testing composure. And Mapua has been the more composed team throughout the second half.
Yes, and it seems like this game is going to go down the wire as well, as FEU is also making their own adjustments. Mapua gets another stop. Jabonete. Oh, called for a traveling this time. A rare mistake by John Jabonete.
There must have been something he liked about that matchup which prompted him to get to the bucket. But sometimes a bad shot's a bad shot.
And Pastor drawing the foul.
Now, and if you think about it, a tough shot down here, right, ends up in free throws down here. That could be a potential 4-point swing. So that's why, you know, for me, you look at shot selection, right, and clock management becomes so big in a game that's, you know, within 5 points. If he converts his free throw, then definitely it's a 4-point swing.
Well, one of the rare mistakes of Jabonete this game, as he's been so far the best player for Mapua.
You know, it's interesting that Konate hasn't been inserted in the game yet. It's probably a situation where they're really having to match up against Mapua's speed and their lateral quickness.
Yes, and as we saw earlier before Konate was subbed out, he was getting switched on the ball screens, and he had to end up guarding the quicker guards of Mapua.
Right. And in addition to that, Mapua had done a good job of sniffing out FEU's high-low action. They were able to really stop it on several possessions. So maybe in this case, styles make fights. Konate's not as effective as he would be in another game. We'll have to remain to be seen if reinsert him in the lineup.
Who knows, maybe in the latter part of the ball game, they'll need his size.
But I think FEU's found an effective big in BJ Prey. I mean, he's been solid this entire game.
Yeah, he's been consistent. And speaking of consistency, Coach, there is John Jabonete with another three-pointer, giving Mapua the lead back by 2.
Score is score, Justin. Score is score.
And Pastor answers right back.
You just gotta love high-quality basketball in April. It's that's the best thing about the Philippines. You're gonna find high-quality basketball somewhere in this country, and that's back-to-back threes. Gotta love it.
Definitely making a case for best player of the game if Mapua comes up victorious. Oh, and a near steal by number 34. I was about to say, Coach, we haven't seen Bautista check back in, but there he is, subbing for Masaglang.
He might be the injection of offense that FEU needs right now to get back even in this game.
There he is. No good in his attempt.
You know, the interesting thing, if you look at this half, third quarter, into the beginning of this fourth, Mapua has really been able to dictate the pace of the game. FEU is having to respond to the way that Mapua is playing. And until FEU finds a combination that's going to change that momentum, Mapua is going to continue to dictate the pace.
Yeah.
They have the clock on their side. They can control, the possessions. So it remains to be seen if FEU can make an adjustment here.
Yeah, that's right, Coach. That's a good observation. It seems like FEU has been struggling to find their best lineup. or best offense of what works against Mapua. And just as we were talking about earlier, finally Konate checks back in the ball game.
And in a situation where you look at the different styles, right? You have the bigs or the inside players of FEU. You have the perimeter players of Mapua. Right now, the perimeter players of Mapua are the ones that are that have established themselves as the one of the deciding factors. Can FEU reestablish the post with Konate and Pre to see if they can, regain this lead? And you can see now that Mapua is being more deliberate with their offense. No need to rush. Oh, wow.
Big shot. Cyrus Cuenco answering the three-pointer of Bautista earlier and pushes their lead up to 4. Bautista looking to answer right back. No good. Abonete with another rebound.
It's interesting that Mapua has pushed their defense back inside the three-point line, so that way FEU is not able to attack the paint. That could be a smart strategy.
So I think the three-pointer of okay, so that's right. The three-pointer of Cuenco counts, but he's called for faking the foul.
I'm still getting used to these FIBA rules. I'll have to take the ref's word for it.
So the technical foul by Cuenco gives FEU 1 free throw plus the possession.
Okay.
And Bautista converts on the free throw, cutting the lead to 7.
Interestingly enough, Justin, you're looking at the scoreboard. Mapua has 4 fouls. Next foul, they're going to be in the bonus. So can FEU take advantage of that? You got to love the fact that Mapua is extending their offense, making FEU have to guard in space. And then he hits a three-pointer. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Mapua spreading out their players so they can have Habonete isolate on VJ Pre. And doesn't make him regret that decision as he makes a three-pointer, giving them a 10-point lead at the 4-minute mark. So it causes FEU to call a timeout, and as FEU is trailing by 10 points. So we'll be right back after this timeout. This is PINOYLIGA Cup #1.
Here's a warm hello from Eastern Communications. We're here to present a refreshing point of view that when it comes to delivering business communication solutions, it's time to bring back the human connection because it's just as important as the technology. Eastern Communications is business made personal. It means getting intimate with our clients' needs so we can provide thoughtful solutions to help them achieve their goals. That's why we are madaling kausap, may malasakit. We are maalam at maaasahan. We are Eastern Communications.
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is PINOYLIGA Collegiate Cup Season 3. And here is the lineup of the Mapua Cardinals. Today we don't have Clint Escamis and JC Recto as they are in their respective teams in the MPBL. But we have RJ Pantaleon, Brix Reyno, Cyrus Cuenco, John Habonete, Waki Garcia, Noel Agameni, and other players for Mapua as they take this 10-point lead with 4 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Oh, and that was a needed basket for FEU, but sadly, Pre misses that free throw line jumper.
It wasn't a bad shot. They executed well. They got their Ricky action, got the ball at the free throw line. Ball just didn't go in. Ooh.
Oh, Paso all open in the corner for three. No good. And they had 2 straight possessions with good shots. Good open shots, but it's just not falling for them.
You know, you have to wonder whether or not FEU has natural three-point shooters.
Oh. So number 21 in Conete exchanging elbows there.
They wanted to make it more interesting, I think.
I was like, it's a 10-point lead. It's getting a little boring. So
it must be right.
Let's add a little flavor to it.
You know, you look in that situation though. FEU's probably frustrated. Like you said, they came down on these past 2 offensive possessions and got good shots, good makeable shots. They just didn't fall. You know, the one thing that Mapua has been able to do this entire game is eliminate FEU's second chance opportunities. They've done a good job of contesting, defending, and then getting the rebound after the first shot. You would think in a situation like this, FEU has a size advantage that they would be able to get offensive rebounds, but I don't think they've been winning that battle. So it makes sense that FEU is a little bit frustrated that, you know, despite all their good effort on offensive end, they're not able to get the shots to go in.
It's a normal reaction from the players from the losing side to get a little more heated at the end of the game when they feel like the game is getting out of reach.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right, Coach. FEU definitely does have a size advantage, but I think it's players like Habonete who just want the ball more, and you know they're securing the rebounds, the second chance points. They're eliminating it for FEU, and credits to Mapua for not giving FEU the advantage that they're supposed to have.
Yeah, and if you look at the quality of shots, the quality of shots are probably pretty even, but I think there's a lot more pressure on FEU when they're shooting, you know, the shots they get, that those have to go in for them because it's the only way they're going to get called back into this game. And when they don't make those shots, it's like, okay, now I got to go on defense and get another stop. And we got to hope that Mapua is not effective offensively. And then maybe we can get a numbers advantage and get an easy shot. So.
And actually missing those crucial shots even make you feel a little more tired when you're trying to catch up. And of course you get a little disheartened when you don't make it. And it just affects your overall feeling or your stamina.
Well, you're putting in all that effort, right? You're setting screens, you're having to manage against defensive pressure, but despite all of that, you know, a wide open three is not going in. Free throw jumper, which is a relatively makeable shot in your wheelhouse, that's not going in either. And so now you have to really force as a clock runs down. Now your shot selection is probably going to go down. It's going to diminish. Quality shots are going to diminish. So how are you going to get back in the game at that point?
Yeah. Imagine if both those shots went in. It could have been a 5-point game.
Yes, and then it definitely changes the complexion of quality of shots. Does the momentum shift? Is there pressure on both ends, both teams to take care of the ball? I mean, all Mapua has to do is get the ball into the front court and wait until 10 seconds every possession, and then try to get a good shot. They're not in a rush.
That also goes against FEU because they basically have to get a shot up right away.
Yes, and they have to really look at being able to offensive rebound. They need the second and third chances.
Oh, and Mapua using too much of the shot clock that time as they get called for a 24-second violation.
There's still time on the clock. They got the stop they needed. Now can they get a great shot on this end? We'll have to see.
It's not over yet, Coach.
No, it's not.
3 minutes is a lot of time, but they can't afford plays like that.
Nope.
As Cyrus Cuenco gets an easy layup off a FEU turnover.
Mishandled exchange here, but they had the right idea. They're trying to go downhill and confuse the defense. This didn't work out that last time. And now a tough shot. Tough contested jumper.
That's where rushing comes in. Not being able to execute properly since they have a time constraint.
Yep.
Oh.
Now, you talk about multiple efforts. Missed layup. Teammate has your back. Gets the offensive rebound and doesn't put the ball on the floor, doesn't bring it down, goes straight up. Now there's a foul. Right, now it gets to go to the line.
And looking to extend the lead by 15.
But this is where you learn about your team. This is where you learn about your team, how they handle adversity, how they handle situational basketball. This is where you learn who you can trust. You know, for a lot of coaches, situationally, you might have a defensive team you put on the floor. You might have a ball handling team you put on the floor. You might have a finishing team you put on the floor. Now you're determining through this context what kind of team you have.
Yes, and definitely this FEU team is also impressive. It's just a matter of finding the right pieces or maybe distinguishing the roles for each player as they move forward in this tournament. But definitely there's a lot of talent in this team.
Oh, yeah. The one thing that Mapua has been able to do this game is on a short clock, so the clock's under 10 seconds, who's going to get the ball?
Yeah.
Habonete is going to be the guy. So for FEU, as they move forward in the tournament, they have to figure out, with a short clock, which guy is going to be able to create their own shot or create for others. And that's going to be their challenge going forward, I think.
And who knows, maybe Mapua having a depleted lineup today actually worked in their favor.
Well, you talk about exposure and learning about your team. I mean, this is the perfect opportunity. You're playing against a UAP team. They have a foreign player. You know, you're dealing with adversity. You're a little bit late because of the traffic, but you still came out and performed. That's for me, that's impressive. So maybe we say that the Mapua's guards and their use of Habonete really was a difference in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Habonete was definitely a big factor in this game as he took control of the boards and even the scoring. Aside from him, it was also Cyrus Cuenco and a couple of their guys getting second chance points for them.
I don't think their guards had a lot of turnovers this game. I think that could be a big difference too, at least in the second half. I don't believe that FEU had a lot of opportunities to get out in transition, like off of a live ball turnover.
Yeah.
So that you gotta congratulate the guards on that.
And Cuenco using most of the shot clock, waiting for the 10-second mark to actually make a move.
And there it is.
Good intention by Pasaol.
FEU may need to look at the game film of this game and sort of figure out what has been happening in their transition offense. That probably hasn't been the first time that they had a 2-on-1 advantage or something like that, and they weren't able to convert.
And Mapua calling a timeout, and maybe Coach Carlos just using this timeout to see if he can execute a new play or something that they can draw up for their future games.
Well, you try to look at every opportunity in a game like this as a teaching moment. So, you know, do they need the timeout necessarily? Probably not. But why not? You know, yet let's burn the timeouts and let's try to teach something that we may need for later.
Even though I feel the game is settled already, you can always just use these opportunities to like prove a teaching point to your team.
Yeah. You know, some coaches may take offense to that, especially if the game's in hand. But you know, this is all learning at this point.
And I was actually under Coach Carlos when I played for Mindoro. And even in some of our tune-up games when we were down big, he was still using every second we had left to teach us what to improve on or to try something new.
Right. Gotta love the guards handle all that pressure and getting the ball up the floor. Any other situation that could have been a turnover.
And Habonete misses the three. And it looks like FEU is going to take the last shot of this game.
You know, interestingly enough, you gotta love the fact that Mapua always knows where Habonete is, because when they're in trouble, they give him the ball.
And there it is, the end of the ball game. Mapua coming up victorious by 8 points, 73-65. And this was a nice game all throughout, Coach. Maybe settled in the last 4 minutes. And yeah, we were lucky enough to be treated to a wonderful ball game. And
hey, it's a beautiful Thursday. It's sunny out. You're in an air-conditioned gym and you're watching good basketball. I don't think you can really ask for anything more than that.
yeah, exactly. And
Nice game.
I think we're looking at the best player of the game today. Could be John Habonete.
Yeah, I think he came to play today.
Yeah.
He definitely came to play today.
And he was one of the players that was actually early to the venue for the Mapua side.
I think he knew his team needed him.
Yeah, good job. Congratulations to Mapua. And the final score is 73-65 as FEU goes down 0-2 in the Pinoyliga Collegiate Cup Season 3. And Mapua takes their first win today. And let's wait for CJ Ang to interview the best player of the game today.
the game, finishing with 27 points and 10 rebounds from the MU Cardinals, John.
And the Player of the Game award goes to John Habonete with 27 points and 10 rebounds, 1 block and 1 steal, taking over this game. And from start to finish was definitely a consistent contributor in this game. And he sparked the run in the third quarter, whether it was making tough shots or getting his teammates open, sparking the MU Cardinals when they were down by 5 points in the first half and giving them the lead. So now we'll move for our second game. We have the Perpetual Help Altas against the San Sebastian Stags coming up next. And let's give it on over to CJ Ang to interview our best player of the game.
Thank you, Justin. Mga kaliga, kasama ko ngayon ang ating Antbox Best Player of the Game with 27 points and 10 rebounds from the MU Cardinals, John Habonete. John, di kita ng laban ninyo against the FEU Tamaraws pero bigla kayo lumayo through your 3-point shooting. How big of a difference are games like this para sa confidence ninyo?
Ano lang po, confidence lang po, kumpiyansa lang po sa sarili. Dahil ano lang po, kumpiyansa lang po kasi wala po kami ibang player dito ngayon na makakapalitan po.
John, next game ninyo will be against another UAAP contender, Ateneo Blue Eagles. How will you prepare for that game?
Siguro po, same pa rin dito sa energy na binibigay namin na kalaban ni FEU kasi Ateneo is a tough opponent siguro. Kasi malalaki din sila kasi kami walang import. Advantage sa po namin is ito po, mabilis lang.
John, meron ka bang gustong batiin at pasalamatan?
Binabati ko po yung family ko sa Masbate, yung papa ko, yung kapatid ko si Ronald Scott, tsaka yung lula at lola ko, yung coach ko na si Coach Edsel sa Cebu, yung mga kaibigan ko sa Cebu tsaka sa Masbate. At nagpapasalamat po kay Lord sa panalo ngayon.
Thank you so much, John, and congratulations. We will be back after this short break.
Here's a warm hello from Eastern Communications. We're here to present a refreshing point of view that when it comes to delivering business communication solutions, it's time to bring back the human connection because it's just as important as the technology. Eastern Communications is business made personal. It means getting intimate with our clients' needs so we can provide thoughtful solutions to help them achieve their goals. That's why we are madaling kausap, may malasakit. We are maalam at maaasahan. We are Eastern Communications.